Confirmed. The Buss family is out. 47 years of Lakers control, over. A $12.5 billion valuation just reshaped the record books. Jeannie Buss reportedly on her way out as governor. Siblings say they were misled about the last deal. Bob Iger and Josh Kushner now enter the picture. This could be the most dramatic ownership shakeup in NBA history. Welcome back to the channel, your home for the latest Lakers news, trade rumors, and breaking front office developments. Before we get into it, tell us in the comments whether you think Jerry Buss deserves a statue outside Crypto.com arena. Let's get into it. Mini headline. The Buss family has officially voted to sell their remaining piece of the Lakers. Context. This isn't the first step in this story. It's the last one. The Lakers have been on this path since June of last year, when the Buss family agreed to hand controlling interest to Dodgers owner Mark Walter at a then-record $10 billion valuation. At the time, Jeannie Buss was set to stay on as governor, and the family kept a piece of the franchise their father built. Source. According to ESPN's reporting, the remaining Buss family trust, made up of siblings Jeannie, Jim, Johnny, Janie, Joey, and Jesse, held a vote on whether to sell their last shares alongside Mark Walter's own move to exit the team. Mechanics. At least 5 of the 6 siblings voted yes. The vote allowed trustees to exercise what's called a tag-along provision, letting the family's remaining stake ride along with Walter's sale to a group led by Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. That new transaction reportedly values the Lakers at $12.5 billion, up from the $10 billion mark set just last year. Based on that number, the Buss family's remaining share is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.20 billion. Fit. Why this makes sense for the family. The family's public statement framed this as a clean exit rather than a forced one. A chance to step away while the value of the franchise is at an all-time high. They emphasize their continued love for the Lakers and the city of Los Angeles, even as they hand over the keys entirely. Obstacle. Here's where it gets messy. Multiple reports indicate that several of the Buss siblings were frustrated with Jeannie over how last year's sale to Walter was handled, with some feeling they were rushed into it and not given the full picture. That tension reportedly built for months, and it appears to have contributed to the family's decision to cut ties completely rather than hold on to a minority piece. Risk versus reward. On one hand, exiting now locks in a valuation nearly 25% higher than what the family agreed to just over a year ago. A massive financial win. On the other hand, it closes the book on a Buss family era that started in 1979 and turned the Lakers into one of the most recognizable brands in sports. Money and legacy don't always point in the same direction, and this time the family chose money and a clean break. Unresolved consequence. The bigger question now is what happens to Jeannie Buss herself. Sources indicate she may be stepping away from her role as governor entirely, a title that's been synonymous with the Lakers front office for over a decade. If that happens, this isn't just an ownership change. It's the end of any Buss presence in the organization at all. Meanwhile, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The buyers on the other side of this deal are just as big a story. Mini headline. Mark Walter isn't just staying on as the new controlling owner. He's cashing out too. Context. Walter's involvement with the Lakers dates back to 2021, when his group bought roughly 27% of the team, along with a right of first refusal. Last year, that grew into full control at the $10 billion valuation. Now, in a move few saw coming, Walter appears to be exiting the Lakers entirely, selling to a new ownership group led by Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. Report. Multiple outlets reported this week that Walter's sale to the Iger-Kushner group set the $12.5 billion valuation that triggered the Buss family's tag-along exit. Fit. Walter's Lakers exit lines up with a broader pattern. His holding company, TWG Global, already controls the Dodgers, Chelsea FC, the WNBA Sparks, a Formula One team, and a professional women's hockey league. Trimming the Lakers off that list, at a massive profit, fits a portfolio approach rather than a long-term commitment to any single franchise. Obstacle. The timing raises real questions. Walter only took full control of the team roughly a year ago, and now he's already moving on. That's an unusually short runway for a franchise this size, And it's fair to ask whether the plan was always to flip the team at a higher valuation. Unresolved consequence. Everything now depends on what Iger and Kushner do with the franchise once the transaction closes, and whether Jeannie Buss's departure means the Lakers are about to feel like a completely different organization for the first time in nearly half a century. That brings us to the question everybody's been asking since this news. Broke. Mini headline. With the Buss family officially gone, fans are asking whether the franchise's architect deserves a permanent tribute. Context. Dr. Jerry Buss bought the Lakers in 1979 for $67.5 million and turned them into the most valuable brand in the NBA. A run that just ended with a sale worth nearly 200 times that original price. The arena has already honored other Lakers legends with statues, including a recent unveiling for Pat Riley earlier this year. The case for supporters argue that no single owner in league history did more to build a franchise's cultural weight. 5 decades of championships, iconic players, and Showtime-era relevance all trace back to Buss's ownership. If any owner has earned a statue, it's the one whose family just sold the team for the highest price in North American sports history. The case against others point out that ownership legacies are complicated by exactly what just happened. A messy, drawn-out exit marked by family disputes and a sale some insiders describe as rushed. Critics argue a statue should wait until the full story of how the Buss era ended is clearer. Unresolved consequence. There's no indication yet that the Lakers or the new ownership group have any statue plans in the works. Whether that changes may depend on how this ownership transition is remembered 5 or 10 years from now. So that's where things stand. The Buss family's 47-year run with the Lakers is over. Mark Walter is already cashing out, and a new group led by Bob Iger and Josh Kushner is stepping in. Should Jerry Buss get a statue for building this franchise? Or should the Lakers wait and see how this new era turns out first? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more Lakers ownership news as this story develops. See you in the next video.